Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. It is 5 minutes past the hour on this 28th day of August. Welcome to hashtag Truth Be Told slash JD Live, your early morning get up, wake up, wake up. And we wake up this morning, of course, with some tragic news from yesterday. Our prayers go out to everyone in Minnesota. Unfortunately, once again, a senseless act of gun violence, a mass shooting event has occurred, a mass casualty event has occurred in our nation as children. Children were literally just praying at a Catholic school. Seems to be that this was some type of domestic terrorism, senseless attack on children praying. Our prayers go out to families, victims, those affected by this senseless gun violence that occurred in Minnesota. Um, how we start this morning off. Once again, shaking our heads, trying to figure out how did this happen. I'm never in here by myself though. Never, never, never. We're broadcast live on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X. We are at the JDMS on all those platforms. On YouTube, we are at 100 BLK Media. Good morning to everyone who is logging in. Like I said, I ain't never by myself. Never. I always find some help from my friends. Y'all put it together. Reading is fundamental. My man, the LeVar Burton of the crew, who's always got a book in his hand of the Sean P and the Sean P experience. Good morning, Sean. What's happening,
What's
my
going
brother?
on? What's going on, Joe? Peace to the audience, man. Good morning. How y'all doing? Blessed. I always got a book in my hand. This book is The Message by one of my favorite modern day writers, my brother Ta-Nehisi Coates. I was blessed to get an autograph copy. I went to his book signing in New Orleans, Joe,
All
over
right.
there at Dillard University. It was the biggest ever book event in New Orleans history. I was blessed to be a part of that event,
Okay.
moderated by the sister Joy Reid. We love Joy Reid, right? But
Yes.
reading this
Boy.
again this morning, thinking about our responsibility that we have on this show as journalists
Come
and the
on.
responsibility of journalism and the weight that we have. Joe, sometimes they say for church, for example, the only church somebody might get is hearing your words in passing.
Right. Correct.
But they ain't going to the
Correct.
church. For some people watching this show, hearing Elijah, hearing us, is the only media that they have to go
Correct.
off of.
Correct.
Talking about the school shooting, or talking about the weather coming, or talking about sports, our take is the only one that they're gonna get. So the weight of that we have is you a lifelong journalist, but me being more of a budding journalist, taking that responsibility a whole lot more seriously lately and pondering on that and thinking about it. So the message.
Hey, and there is a burden and a weight of responsibility to give accurate information, information that is non-biased. Last night I had to work with one of the local TV outlets and give information in the law enforcement aspect of what's going on in the municipality I work in. And of course, they post those items on social media also. And then you hear how people then have their comments either pro, for, or against nay. And you find out that there's a lot of naysayers these days. Our conversations are always being vetted, are always being challenged. And then a lot of folks, sadly, Sean, don't understand the operations of certain organizations or government, period. They don't know who does what. If you go to most folks right now and say, look, man, outside of telling me who the president of the United States is, can you tell me who your councilman is? Can you tell me who your ward is for your ward? Can you tell me who your constable is? Can you tell me uh, who really comes to your house if there's a problem and you need law enforcement? Is it going to be the sheriff? Is it going to be the constable? Is it going to be the police? Because a lot of folks don't understand where you live has a lot to do with who winds up being the people who are legally enforcing the laws in your area. Talk to me, Sean.
They don't know what district that they vote. The voting district. They don't know what district that they lie in. The school district. They don't
Right.
understand when certain
They
things
don't
happen.
know.
What
They
do I
don't know
go
who
for?
their school. Listen, they don't know who their board member is. They don't know. They don't know a lot. They don't know the people who are sitting on a council who has more to do with their day-to-day living than the people in the White House. Understand, the people that you put to govern your local city has more to say for the taxes you pay, the quality of life of roads and infrastructure, and they have more to say than the people in the White House.
And Joe, they are more tangible. I can go right now. I live in St. Martinville, for an example. I might see our mayor at any given Mexican restaurant or just going down the street. I can pull my car over and go shake his hand and talk to the brother man to man, real talk. I can go and find some city councilman and see him at the barbershop, see him you can actually have a conversation, actually get understanding. I can't talk to Donald Trump. I can't talk to whoever at the whatever level, but I can talk to my local if I know who they are. I can email them, I can call them, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is important, man.
I mean, we have to start being more open to conversation that gives elevation. I am so tired of watching social media critics criticize everything but come up with no solution to combat the problem. I hear a lot of, and I hate to use the song because it's just been sticking in my head because that's all I heard while I was in Atlanta, that wham, wham. That's all I hear. Wham, wham. You know, I hear this problem, that problem, but I never hear a person say, these are the solutions. I have people who will get on here and try to read the law, read the Louisiana statutes for whatever, but never say, this is what we need. This is what's wrong. However, this is my suggestion on what we do to fix it. All they try to do is say, get rid of corrupt politicians, get rid of this person, get rid of that person. Well, let me ask you this. Do you have a solution for the individual who may take their place? Or do you have at least a suggestion of where do we start to begin to go to change this scenario for the betterment of all the greater good of all the people? Brother Sean.
But you know, some people are doers and some people just talk. So, for example, education and the lack of reading scores lately and everything, my squad and myself think, you know what? We're going to offer workbooks for children. We're going to offer online workshops. We're going to offer in our individual cities different resources. That's solution-based thinking. We see a problem. How can we address that directly in our own little efforts, right? But to just sit back and go online for hours on there, man, the reading scores, that's not changing nothing. We all know the reading scores down. What are we going to do about it? It's the only thing that's next. What you going to do about it in your own way?
It's 13 minutes past the hour. We're getting toward the end of this month, going into the month of September. And I like to use a very well-known quoted scripture from the Bible. Before y'all start talking about folk, before y'all start criticizing folks, I want y'all to ask yourself this question. Yahshua spoke these words. Yahweh said the following, however you want to enunciate his name. He said, he that is free of sin, cast the first stone. So if you've never did anything wrong and you're perfect in all your ways, please criticize until you can't criticize no more. But understand, when you point one finger, there's three fingers pointing back at you. When you point one finger, there's three fingers pointing back at you. Did you chickadee check yourself before you wrecked yourself? You know, come on, family. Our problem is we don't wake up and look at the man or the woman in the mirror and begin to say, what do I need to do to get myself together? I wake up every morning and I write down at least 2 or 3 things that I say, Lord, I need to be better from this aspect. And I need these things to fall off of me where I can be a better man, not only for myself, for my household, for my community, but for everyone connected to me, for people who don't even know me. I got people who will inbox me from another country who say, man, I saw your podcast. I was thinking about what y'all said, and my mental health matters. You are correct. My mental health matters. Guess what? Your words carry weight. The Bible. Excuse me, y'all. I'm sorry. I had to back up again. This book says, for those who read, the power of life and death lies within your mouth, your tongue, what you say. Then he tells you clearly, after he makes that statement of where life and death lies, he says, I infer you speak life. In other words, out of all the stuff you can do, speak positivity into the atmosphere. Stop always being the gossiping Gusses and Gussies of the ghetto. Stop always having wah to say and always blah, 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 and you this, you that. I can't stand you. Listen, what you put out there is what comes back to you. Karma is real. Brother Sean, talk to me, baby. Talk to me.
Well, when you talk about having a self-evaluation, I talk about the ability to self-assess in my first book, the ability to self-assess. But like, that keep you humble and having that humility, right?
Watch your kick.
The guy's unlocking your passion, not my passion. I know my passion, unlocking your passion. But my point only being, I can give you a laundry list of what I think I got to correct about Sean P. That keep me humble and not having the big head and not having to over you and looking down on my nose at you. I know what I got to improve on. But whenever you don't do that self-assessment, that ego get inflated and you start feeling like you're bigger than the program, as they say these days. You can't be bigger than the program, man. None of us are.
Right.
None of us are.
You know, a lot of folks think this comes from John Wick, but it really doesn't. And so once again, reading folks know where this come from. When they say nothing, and I normally usually quote that in some of my posts I put on social media, I say nothing or nobody is bigger than the table. I am here to serve and to be of service, because you have to understand in this grandeur of thing called the grand universe, bro, you just a speck in time. You literally less than a grain of sand on the beach, and time moves just like that. You know, you up in here thinking you got all the time in the world. You don't, because I can tell you, I remember walking across a stage in 1985. I remember walking across a stage in 1989. I remember walking across the stage in 1990, 92. And let me tell you something. My God, that felt like yesterday. And I can't believe on this 28th day of August at 18 minutes past the hour, man, I'm less than 2 years from being 60.
Bruh, this is why when people say, well, you know, Sean, that nursing program gonna take me a year to do it. A year gonna pass anyway. Well, you know, Sean, if I do this certain commitment, I gotta do a 5-year commitment, and then 5 years gonna pass anyway, bro. Cause like you just said, I can do the same thing and remember certain milestones in my life, and that feel like, bruh. Like the military in particular, until certain things on my Facebook time, I be to forgot most of that stuff, Joe.
Come on.
Until we talk about it on the show, or me and my military brothers at work mention certain things. Other than that, I never even think about that stuff. It's been so, like 4 lifetimes ago, I was doing these things overseas. I was 18, 19 years. I'm 43. I done did so much since then. You know what I'm saying?
John, I just was sitting here when you brought that up. I have been in my small amount of time on this planet, and it is a very small amount of time, I have served in 7 different war zones. Got 7 different war zones. War zones. Not hold it. And when I say war, we ain't talking Call of Duty. I ain't served in 7 different video game war zones. I have served in 7 different real war zones. And do y'all understand that we, in 20 minutes past the hour, I really want to just try to touch your soul this morning to say the following. Take some accountability and responsibility for what every day you put out into the universe. You're either a change maker or a chaos creator? Woo! Let me hold up.
Get you a black card, Joe. Go ahead, pull you a black card, my brother.
I can't even find my black. Hold it, here it is. Like, wait a minute. Bam. You are either a change maker or a creator of chaos.
Let me ask you a question, Joe.
The universe. Come on, talk to me, Sean.
For anybody that's young watching the podcast, but anybody in particular, back to those milestones we had years ago, didn't you think that was a make or break moment in your life? Didn't you think, man, this next decision gonna change everything? But you've done so much good or bad since that decision.
Come on.
So I'm saying it because so many folks now, they just going to college or you just going to the military or you just getting married, whatever. You're thinking like, man, my whole life hang on this moment. But actually it don't. Because in the worst case scenario or the best case scenario, life gonna still, if you lucky, life gonna still go on, bro. And we all got our losses as well. You know what I'm saying?
Let me say
and
this.
We still here. We still here.
Life is going to go on with or without you. No man or woman that I have met yet has the power to stop, pause, or control time, or even rewind it and say, hold up, let me hold it. Maxine Waters said, reclaiming my time. I need to reclaim my time. Can I reclaim my no? You can say stop. And somewhere along the line, I think some of y'all believe that y'all can reclaim your time. You can stop a person from talking and interject what you wanted to interject because you were interrupted. But you can't. Them 5 minutes is gone, are gone.
And Joe, in our lifetime, we've seen some big names that passed, unfortunately, right? But guess what? You're a journalist, or it could be a headline of breaking news. So and so just passed. They were this amount of age old. They did this in their life. All right, on the sports. Now, you know, the Saints and Shador, that's what they're going to do.
Right.
They're not going to just stop everything because you passed.
Hold on.
Blah, blah, blah. Shador.
Hold on. John. John P. I can say this. I pray for those who have experienced the same level of loss I have experienced. In my lifetime, I have lost parents. The world didn't stop spinning. For those, like the sadness that right now is in the horror of losing a child, which many have experienced through senseless gun violence, like what occurred in Minnesota. But guess what? This world gonna keep spinning. Hold it. When Sandy Hook happened, the world didn't stop because them children winded up in a mass casualty event because they were murdered. Let's just call it what it is. Because they were murdered. The world didn't stop turning. And guess what? The world don't stop turning, be it good or be it bad, it happens. Go ahead, Sean.
I want to ask you a question, Joe, and this is your platform specifically, so I want to be sensitive, and I'm going to have my little white gloves on, but I want to ask a concept, right?
Talk, brother. You can talk freely. Talk freely.
I mean, but like we said, look, responsibility, right? Being responsible, being responsible, not being emotional. The president wants to swoop down with the National Guard and everything to these predominantly black cities, correct? Right.
Correct.
But whenever these things happen, these mass casualties and shootings and everything, they're not in predominantly black or brown zip codes. Sandy Hook and all these other, Columbine, and so you mean the National Guard not going over there?
Right. Hold it. The situation that happened in Florida.
Being sensitive.
Now,
not being funny. Not being funny.
No, let us say
it's a real question. The question.
And out, and Sean, you gonna laugh because Sean gonna say, "Here you go, here you go." As a friend of mine tells me, man, you remind me of Brad Pitt in Seven, when old boy is in the back seat and he talking to Morgan Freeman. And he goes, "There he goes. He's walking over to the box." Oh, okay. I read a lot of comic books, family. And so let me go down this rabbit hole. In comics, sometimes situations make good guys villains. And sometimes situations in comics make the bad guy all of a sudden a guy that does a good deed.
You mean like Thanos?
I'm just saying. See, right. See, watch this. Some of you who understand, some of you who comprehend what Thanos is doing, Thanos is really doing a good thing. He's bringing balance to the universe. He just ain't doing it the right way.
And Joe, what did that take? That take a large reset, right? It took a big reset.
Hold on. That's a lot of us. A lot of us have good intentions on what we're saying and what we're trying to do. We just not doing it in a way that is productive or in a way that is even good for other folk. Because in order for us to achieve, I saw a young lady say the following, Sean, and I quote her specifically because I wrote this down. He said, I ain't going to stop until I get what I want. I ain't going to stop until I get what I want. But then in the same breath of the same live, in the same conversation, she's about the greater good of what's going on in her community. No, you're not. You made it clear with your first statement. You don't care who get ran over. You don't care who get talked about. You don't care who get taken out. Long at the end of the day, you can look at her and say, well, you sure did that, girl. You did exactly what you said. And then you got these, I don't even want to call them a name. You got these people who will egg her on and say, go get him. Like she a dog. Go get him. You are sick 'em. Go get him. Listen, let me tell you this. I have been on this microphone since 1984. This microphone.
I was 3 years old. I was 3 years old, Joe.
Hold it, Sean. I'm going to say this quick. This microphone these mics carry a great deal of power. Okay? Back in the day when I was on terrestrial radio, not doing podcasting wasn't the thing. Back in the day when you used to turn on your radio in your car, my voice carried a lot of power. My voice allowed me to speak in certain places I never thought I would speak. I spoke at the Tennessee legislature. I spoke in Congress, in the halls of Congress. I have spoken in foreign countries at places I never thought I would speak before because of these microphones. These microphones also carry a great deal of accountability and responsibility.
It's a sword, man. It's a modern day sword.
Hey,
because Donald Trump can just simply tweet a little dog whistle and they whole swoop down on the White House. They're gonna swoop down on, see what I'm saying? In a matter of a little tweet.
Hold it. Or he can make the accusation that an individual is stuffing ballot boxes with false ballots. And all of a sudden that person's life has changed forever because that person now is being threatened. Their life and their family's life is being threatened over accusations that are total lies. There is no truth in those lies. Now, all of a sudden, this person has to watch everywhere they go because somebody trying to do watch this. You have insurance companies that will have conferences now, and they tell you don't wear any of our paraphernalia while you're walking around the streets of this city. Because you might have a Mangini that walks up and busts you in the back of the head with a gun because he mad because y'all didn't approve one of his claims. Now, we ain't even gonna go down that rabbit hole, but it is almost the bottom of the hour. And at the bottom of the hour, in the great state of Tennessee, where they have
we got my dog.
We got my dog. Where they sing a song that says Rocky Top. You'll always be home, sweet home to me. Your old Rocky Top. Y'all, give it up. We got sports coming. And look who's coming. It's the man himself, Elijah Nixon. Good morning, Elijah.
What's going on, guys?
What is going on in
sports? Elijah. We're not worthy. We're not worthy. Here he.
We have a couple of topics to get to today.
But talk to me, baby. Let's get it.
We're gonna open up with the NBA. We got two hot topics in the NBA. First one, Dawn Staley actually came out and said You know, she did actually have the New York Knicks interview that was posted a couple months ago. She said she interviewed and she said it was. I told him in an interview, it's the New York freaking Knicks. I would have definitely took that job if they were serious with an offer. She came out and said she would do it because she would do it not only because it is the Knicks organization, but she would have did it for the women because it's the biggest organization. Now, don't get me wrong. This is what she said word for word. Would I went to any NBA team? Absolutely not. But I would have went to the New York Knicks if they had a serious offer. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that would have been good for basketball, good for women, good for Dawn Staley, and the totality of the Knicks?
My opinion, just like President Barack Obama for all black people going forward, the rest of his time memorial, he did something that was record breaking, shattering the glass, right? If she would have did it, and even had a bad season hypothetically, I think it's still for women and black women in particular, it'd be a glass that's cracked. Look at this, Joe, for the greater thought about having a black woman president. If we can see it in the sport world first, entertainment, you know what? Maybe they could lead. Maybe they could organize. Maybe they could. See what I'm saying? So for the sake of that, the optics of that, I think it's good for that reason. I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet at that point.
No, you good. You good. Listen, Elijah, everything that Sean just said was spot on. Women, especially black and brown women, are the most educated and degreed women in the United States of America. Not only women, they are the most educated and degreed individuals. You put black
and
men,
Joe,
white men.
The most CEOs, huh? Probably black women. All the black women entrepreneurs and Essence Fest.
I got to look at that, and I don't want to give false information, but I'm gonna be real with
I'm saying it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Right, hold it. Information I know is when it comes down to the most educated and post high school degree having individuals in the United States of America, black women are number one. They got more degrees than white women, more degrees than white men, more degrees than black men, Hispanics. Black women are number one. They got more degrees than anybody else. I believe that they've been doing the job. They just haven't been getting the recognition. And nobody's been recognizing. Nobody wants to say it. It's like people have a problem telling you that you're great. And that's why black women, as Alethea would say, will continue to be great in their face. Because you're not going to give them the credit. Hold it. They ain't got to bust the ceiling. They got to kick the door in first. Because y'all ain't opening the door, letting them in. And then y'all, here's what you do. You put a dummy over them and give them the title. And actually, it's that worker bee who's doing all the number crunching, all the keeping everybody together in the office. A lot of y'all, listen, think about it. Think about how many times when we were young, folks used to look at for those of us who grew up with a dad, because everybody didn't. But for those of us who grew up for a dad, how many people would come and pat your dad on the back and say, boy, you really handling your business with your family? Not knowing behind closed doors, mom keeping everybody together. Brother Elijah, go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, I think this would have been historic. I think this would have been great for.
So wait a minute. Is she implying that the Knicks wasn't serious? Let me ask that. Since she said if they would have had a serious, hold it. Is she implying that the Knicks just said we're gonna just pull a publicity stunt and offer you? We're gonna say we offering you and interviewing you, but sit down and offer you peanuts.
And I'm happy you said
that. Is that like the Brian Flores thing? Yeah, all these interviews. That wasn't real interviews.
Come on.
She said it was the basic interview that everybody got in that thing too. So I was going to comment on that too, but yeah, I think it was a basic interview. I don't think it was the interview for the real deal. I wish they would have gave her an opportunity to, because again, with Dawn Staley being interviewed, that was big news, and I think that she's a proven winner on a level that is a high level with college basketball, and I think she has the respect of not just college basketball women, but I think of all athletes across the NBA, the WNBA, college world, everywhere. So I think she would have been well respected heading into the league. Now, with that being said, with Dawn, I would have loved to see it. Now, like I said before, the only thing that I would have been upset about is if we have a loser season and they put everything on her, like the players wasn't there, and then they treat her like she's one and done and she shouldn't be in the league. I think that with Dawn, I wanted to come with patience. I wanted to come with time, and I wanted to come with understanding, because it's not just another women's college basketball. Of course, it's going to be men. The plays, I'm not sure how plays work at basketball. I never coached basketball, didn't play real basketball, so I can't tell you how that worked. But I can tell you this, though. Dawn would have had the attention of a Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson and telling them, you better play some mother-loving defense. So I think that it should have been a real offer if you was going to talk to Dawn, because I think she deserves that type of conversation. And that's how I feel about the Knicks organization. I think Mike Brown is a good hire as well, but I think that if he was going to talk to Dawn, I think you should have been more serious about it, for sure. But staying in the basketball world, LeBron was seen working out at the Clippers facility. Now, that may look like what you think, and it may sound like what it sounds like. But at the same time, he was working out at the old Clipper facility, not the new one. So it's still in LA. But there has been speculation that he would love that he may go join the Clippers or want to be traded to the Clippers right across the hall. Your guys' thoughts and opinions. Do you think that he's trying to send a message to the Lakers? Do you think he's just trying to get a workout in? Or do you think that it's nothing there? He just doing what he likes to do, play basketball, and that's it. What do you guys think it is right now?
Don, I need you to talk to me, baby.
Well, Joe, I was always told where there's smoke, there's a little bit of fire, huh, Joe? Where there's smoke, there's fire. So, Elijah, I think that LeBron James, he deserves the clout he throws around, his weight he throws around. I think that the Lakers management have pulled that plug. They got Luka. They kind of sort of showing him like the power you had before. You don't wield that sword over here no more like that. So I think if he would go to the Clippers, he would have that kind of the power he wants to have as the person that he is. That's my opening thoughts about that.
Well, Elijah, he is LeBron James. He is the king.
Mama, there goes that man.
Mama, there goes that man. He might not be the GOAT, but he showed the king. And guess what?
Bad.
The king said, I can go wherever they allow me to go to. So, hey, sometimes you gotta let folks know. Like I tell people.
Got a little volume on Joe. Got a little volume on Joe.
So I think LeBron. LeBron is the message, and I think that him going to the Clippers isn't necessarily a bad thing. Will it affect his legacy? No, I think his legacy is set in stone. I just think that the Lakers, like you just said, the Lakers already had it written on the wall when they went to go get Luka. They got their own version of Anthony Davis with DeAndre Ayton. It's a lesser version, but it's their version. I think that's it. I think you got it. I think the writing is on the wall for LeBron with the Lakers organization. I think that he wants to go somewhere where he's appreciated and where he's loved. And of course, he got guys over there like Chris Paul. He got guys over there like James Harden and he got guys like Kawhi Leonard over there. So
come on, man. Come on, bro. I think Bradley Beal's over there as well. Give me kind of an estimation. How much time you think LeBron got left? Like 3 seasons, like 2 seasons, like still putting up like 28, 6, and 7 or something of that nature, roughly. What do you think?
I think he got 2 more years. I think he got 2 more years left. I think what he's going to do is going to play with his son, but I also think he wants to reach that 25-year mark where I don't think nobody's going to grab that. Nobody's going to play in the league for 25 years. I don't think so. I don't think they love the game as much as LeBron did to do that. And then I also think that he's trying to push this points record as far as he possibly can because he don't want nobody to touch it. So I don't know if his goal is to get to 50,000 or whatever it is, but he wants to push that point total as far as he can before he sits down.
I would also add for the audience that LeBron has so many, at this point, billion-dollar deals going on. He going overseas to deal with the Saudi Arabians and things of that nature. He doing some major moves outside of basketball. And I think his mind might get more turn towards trying to be in ownership and owning. He's trying to get a WNBA team, right? He's trying to own some ownership in the team. I heard NBA team. Okay. So
trying to
his
own
mind
the
kind of going more toward that mogul side, you know.
Hey, I'd rather be an owner listen, Michael Jordan, y'all still can't tell me who was the guy who owned the Bulls all those years who was signing Michael's check. Because if he was signing Michael's check, just imagine what his check was. That part. That might be a message for Jerry Jones. I can be an owner of a successful franchise and don't nobody know my name.
Dancing in the videos, all in the background. That was sure that.
Message.
Now, and then headed into when the last point is college football, guys. I don't know if we could ever see enough of this, but it's looking like they're going to try to pluck them again. Big Ten, SEC. They're looking to add to their already dominant conference. And who are they talking about adding?
Ooh.
You guessed it. North Carolina and Virginia. They want to add those two teams, but they don't know who's going to grab it. Now, Clemson was,
To who?
Either the
They're
Big
trying
Ten
to
or
add
the
them to what division?
I don't know. They said Big Ten or SEC. They didn't say a division. But they did say that, because Florida State was on the rise to come to the SEC, but then the ACC made a deal with them. Clemson made a deal with the ACC. So now they're plucking Virginia and North Carolina. They're trying to bring them together over here. So with that being said, I mean, the conference is already dominant between those two. If they go ahead and grab North Carolina, who I think will be one of the powerhouses in the ACC this year, and Virginia, who, if they grab them, they could rise up, but I don't think they're much any different. If they go grab those two teams, do you think they should just end all conferences and just let everybody just play everybody? Because there's no point of having a conference when everybody's joining just one or two of these conferences, and everybody else got to fade to the background.
Elijah, follow the money. I ain't gonna say no more. Say what I said. Follow the money. These conferences are here to stay. And guess what? Big bank take little bank all day long. That's why folk are leaving. Follow the money. And guess what? The SEC ain't playing. They ain't taking no prisoners, no hostages. Come here.
If it's the SEC, they barbecue chicken. They barbecue chicken.
I think they'll do well in the Big Ten for sure, like she said. So I don't know about the SEC, but I think they'll do well in the Big Ten. I think if they do go, but I just think they should stay in the ACC. That's on me. I think they should stay on the ACC. If you're expanding the playoffs,
I was getting ready to go get my graduation ring from the University of Maryland, class of 1989. Guess what my ring says?
What?
It says ACC on the side of it, because when I graduated from Maryland, we were a part of the ACC. We not no longer. We Big Ten. I still can't let that settle in my spirit. Well,
no,
but guess
no.
what?
ACC,
when I was there,
man.
when I was there, we were the ACC.
When I was in Saudi,
I'm just saying. So once again, just like Mizzou, I don't forget who Mizzou used to belong to. And I know people who graduated from Texas A&M, and especially folks who graduated from Oklahoma and Texas. I don't think they'll ever really grasp that we not in the conference we used to be in. We SEC now.
And that's the thing. I think that, and that's why I say that I feel like personally they should just let two conferences be. Let the two conferences be SEC, Big Ten, and just let everybody, because there's no point at, all these different things where we're not even enjoying conference championships anymore. We're not. Because everybody's picking one side and they're staying there, and then SEC is trying to rule everything, and the Big Ten is trying to rule everything. I remember when the Pac-12 was dominating with USC back in the day. I remember when you had other conferences that besides the Big 12 in the SEC winning championships. Like you had, Boise State being Oklahoma. That's how fair ground it was when it was in the Mountain West. Oklahoma,
Appalachian State. Appalachian State. Come on now.
Like, it was all fair game, and now it's like I feel like, dog, like just taking the fun out of college football. We're not enjoying it. I think that with these powerhouses and like with this happening, I don't like it. Like I get that they're going to expand college football with playoff teams. I heard they're trying to get to like 20 something. But at the same time, that's cool. But I don't think that's the answer because you're not these lower schools are going to suffer. They're going to suffer a lot.
So Elijah, let me ask you this: since we're talking college, let's just trickle it down to really what's happening at now. What has trickled down from college to even a lower level, high school. They are really formulating high school NILs.
Mhm.
And hold it. I promise you, within the next 5 years, the face and the atmosphere of high school athletics are about to change drastically. Drastically. You're about to have the haves and to have absolutely nothing.
That's true.
Watch and see.
That's true. And the private schools are going to benefit to me the most because they got the money.
What? What? Come on, Sean. We can't hear you. Turn your mic on.
I'm sorry, my bad. I've been telling my friends for the past few years that sports have become a classism thing, right? Remember the old stories in the day, Joe? You get Allen Iverson from the projects, and Kevin Garnett from the projects, and Jermaine O'Neal, these guys. But now, the kids of today with the NIL and I said more fluid parents, those kids have the advantage in sports now versus what it used to be. So you're right. In a few years, sports gonna look. It's already happening.
Right.
It's already happening. Sports are dominated by those that have. You can afford all the camps and the trainers and the dietitian, and you can the travel ball. You can afford that.
Yeah, that's why I said the private schools. While the private schools actually, like you said, they got dietitians and stuff like that. The public schools gonna be stuck eating oranges at halftime, peanut butter sandwiches. You know what I'm saying? After the game, what are the plastic nuts?
Drink it, pickle juice. Pickle juice.
Hey. That some of these private schools, if you've been inside the training facility in the locker rooms of some of these private high schools, they rival the Alabamas, the LSUs, the Florida States. Because look, I'm telling you, have you been inside the locker room and the training facilities of some of these elite colleges?
But Joe, whenever Teddy Bridgewater,
come on,
Teddy Bridgewater tried to do it for our community. Teddy Bridgewater tried doing that. You see what happened with that? But these other schools for all this time been doing that. Come on, man.
It's just, you know, I don't know, family. I don't know. I just don't know. You know, at the end of the day, when it comes down to these athletes, student athletes, especially right now at the high school level, I have some concerns. Forget collegiate. I have concerns when I see in my local area certain schools. And Elijah, you cover sports here. There's some big time athletes that are coming out of these high schools here in Southwest and South Louisiana, going to the Alabamas, the LSUs, Texas, the Oregons, the Florida States, in all sports. We're not just talking football. We're talking football, basketball, baseball. There's some elite athletes coming out of the South, going places. And that's from the high school level. Right now, there's people looking at high school freshmen, sophomore, juniors who play baseball, who probably their freshman year is going to get an offer to go pro or to go AAA. Real young to be that Moyon.
I want to pose Elijah a question, being a sports guy, right? I've been hearing these conversations lately. Kendrick Perkins, Daniel Cormier from Louisiana, UFC great, talking about the children that they reclassify and make them repeat the 8th grade or something like that to give them a little more time to mature physically and with the sport and everything. What are you guys' thoughts about like reclassifying and things of that nature that people do, kind of manipulating the game?
Oh yeah,
in your child's favor.
Right. That's all of a sudden I'm trying to hold him back a year where he'll be a little bit bigger, stronger, faster.
Bigger, stronger, more experience.
Sean, that's been happening since I was in high school.
Come on.
Like,
it's been, but the NIL thing with it now is the point.
Yeah, it is. Because I remember when I was a kid, I say no names, but it was like people that was held back. But I heard they used to do that like a lot more in the South. They did it in the North for sure. because they wanted another year for them to be bigger, stronger.
I know a lot of those Texas schools, them Texas championship schools, those kids were older than we think. Come to find
That
out.
part.
They were playing against grown men for real. They say he's a man amongst boys. Well, he was.
Right. He's still 21 years old and classified as a senior in high school.
Hey, Joe, he leaving homecoming going to the club. After homecoming, he going to the club.
Hey, why is it that our defensive end can drink liquor? What's going on? He show
Joe,
what you
I'm gonna say it. I'll never forget when I was in junior high, we played against Patterson Junior High. Patterson here in Louisiana, a championship knowing high school and everything. But in junior high, we playing basketball, for the opening tip, we all get together, shake hands and all that with the opposing team. The whole team had connecting beers, Joe. I'll never forget it. It all seemed like they were 6'4", 6'5", 220. We in junior high. I look at coach like coach, like how is this? Yeah, coach pretty much like, do what you got to do. But that was grown men, bro. Come on, man. You're not in junior high, man.
Yeah, they do that. They do that a lot, man, and they do it purposely because one, they want to make their kid feel like they got to get them prepared to go to the next level. But I also feel like with these NIL deals, I think these NIL deals are going to kind of start getting out of hand because what is the point of going pro? I'm making the money now. I'm making the money to go to college, and I'm making the money in college. And then when I get to pro, of course, that's the bigger bag. But at the same time, your rookie year, you don't have life-changing money. So it's not like what you're not making in college, you're not going to make in your first 4 years of your contract. So what I'm saying is basically go ahead, get that money now, get that money early, and then probably just, if you want to, get you a business, a trucking license, get you whatever you want to get if you don't feel like the pros is real for you. Because that's where I think it's turning. I think we're going to have to just go back to getting real football players and not these guys that just want to check anymore.
Right. And sadly, it's money that makes the world go around. It's 8 minutes to the top of the hour. And family, tomorrow, of course, is the 20th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. And tomorrow on Freedom and Fun Friday, we're going to definitely reflect and look back, especially me down here in the state of Louisiana. That was a life-changing storm, a life-changing moment, not only for us, but for really the whole world. And especially, we're going to talk from a lot of perspectives and understanding how we're dealing with storms today because of that storm. It set the precedence of how FEMA and government assistance and how certain things operate when all of a sudden all hell breaks loose. And I don't know if we're prepared if another storm like that comes through and hits anywhere. Forget New Orleans, anywhere. I think we saw that when the storm hit the North Carolina area just before the election, how so many folks were criticizing about there is no help, there is nothing. And I just think that we got to pay attention, family. We just got to pay attention. 7 minutes, 7 minutes to the top of the hour.
Could I ask Elijah a question, Joe? Please?
Go ahead.
I've been curious for a long time, but Elijah, you being a journalist, are there any sport books that you love or you've read or you could suggest? I love sport books, being the book guy personally. So do you have any suggestions for myself or the family when it comes to the world of sports and journalism?
I'll be honest with you. I never really looked at a sports book, but I'll look into the 48 Laws of Power. Like you read more of because in this field, you want to know more of the business side than the sports side because you fall in love with the sports side so much that you could really get played on the business side. I was just telling my homie this the other day, like I could make a news company $200,000 while I'm here, and he could have the decision of not re-signing me, and I could be either petty about it, upset about it, or I could move on and just use my resume and keep it going because you got to understand, me and the guy may have a heck of a relationship, but at the same time, business is business. He still got to keep this thing rolling. Like KATC in Lafayette is gonna forever be there when I'm gone. WBIR in Knoxville is gonna forever be here when I'm gone. WIS that was in Columbia, who I work for, they're forever gonna be here when I'm gone. So at the end of the day, I just got to handle my business part. So I really go into business books more than sports books, and it's only because of the business side of things. I want to make sure that I have my stuff in order because to be honest with you, I don't see myself going longer in this business for more than 10 years. After this, probably I'm done after 10 years. After this, I want to make sure that I have my stuff in line, so when I want to do my own thing, it can happen. But I don't see myself doing more than 10 years after this.
I would say the following, Sean, and I say this to Elijah. It's like the platform we're on right now. When I first started doing this years ago, folks laughed at me. Why? Because I was doing this at the same time I was working for a media company. And at first, because the media company I worked for took it as a joke, they were like, "Oh, you can't do what we do. We are mother. You just, using the alien type scenario. You work for us. We own you." It was funny how when I got fired in media, I have always been the Joe Dupree Morning Show. The media company I work for tried to sue me for my own name. Oh no, Joe Dupree Morning Show belongs to us. I was like, well, who gonna be Joe Dupree? And fortunately for me, I had enough wherewithal and enough people who I knew and enough connections that I literally had to, folks didn't know that I had to fight for my name for about 6 months because they were sending legal letters talking about you can't use Joe Dupree. Joe, we own the name Joe Dupree. No, you don't own my name. These companies will do some of the most craziest things,
Man.
and until you own it. See, that's like one time, Elijah, you sent me a message. I think I overslept or something. You said, "Are we owned today?" When you own it, you can't oversleep. Not all the time, but you can. When you oversleep, you don't have to worry about somebody busting in the door talking about, "We got advertisers, we got this, we got that. Where were you at?" Because I figured out a financial formula to do this and be able to say what I want to say when I want to say it. This is a true platform for the First Amendment speech right to be spoken.
Come
We
on
can
now.
agree to disagree, but you can always say what you want to say. Go ahead, Sean.
I think what Elijah just said was a beautiful answer because my first book is all about mastering your thing, right? But the follow-up to that has to be the business side of that. So many of
Right.
us, like in the writing world, I know either great writers or like phenomenal business people. I rarely see the mix of a person that's an amazing writer and all your ducks in a row on the business side and the marketing and promotion side of that. It's two different universes. So we got to do better at mastering the thing, but then also conversion. Go ahead, Joe.
2 minutes to the top of the hour. And I want to say this to both of you. Sometimes it is good to be great at what you do and find somebody else who is great at what you need to have done. Let me say a name here. No, I'm not going to say the name because I don't want folks to know that. But let me share this with y'all. The establishment of the business side of 100 BLK and 100 BLK Media, I had absolutely nothing to do with it. Now that's funny because I do have 2 business degrees hanging on my wall, and I do have an MBA with with an emphasis on strategic marketing. But I went and used connections that I had from my college days, military days, and other folks who had been successful in business to help me set up my LLC, my subsidiaries of my 501c3s, things I had absolutely no idea about because I don't dabble in that. I got with experts. I paid those experts and they set up what needed to be set up. And there's a lot of stuff I do that y'all don't even know I do because they taught me one strategic thing. The only way you're going to make money is you got to be good at what you're doing, and you got to have other folks to say you're good at it, and you say nothing about it.
It's true.
You say absolutely. I'm going to say something that's going to make y'all laugh. Now, Sean P know this. Most folks don't. I'm going to put this up here to let y'all know. I get a check every month. And we'll get a check every month until the day I die from this little box right here. Because I've been a part of this little box since day one. Since day one. Now, am I getting a big check? Am I getting a $1 million check every month. No, I'm not. But I am getting a check every month and have been getting it every month. I also get a check from podcasting and video podcasting for doing a gaming channel that most of y'all probably see all the time and didn't know I'm the person behind it, because it's not my face, my voice on it. I created it. I found some folks who had a lot of followers. To be exact, right now, they have altogether about 4.5 million followers. And they get on there and they play video games and they have big fun and they enjoy in the spoils of what we do. I get my cut, they get theirs, and everybody is happy.
Could I say something, Joe?
Yeah, sometimes you got to do stuff and not let folks know what you're doing and just do it and laugh at folks when they try to tell you what you are and what you ain't doing.
That's why I've observed it in the business world the past few years. We in our community got to get better at being what they call a silent partner, being a silent part of ownership. Like you said earlier, we see LeBron James doing all these deals, right? You don't know who is the person that's brokering those deals. We see Shaquille O'Neal doing all this stuff. Shaq got 500 businesses. Who is doing those deals for you? You never know who that is. They don't need their face on everything and their name on everything. They just in the background doing what they do, and you roll over and collect the check, man. We got to stop being so front facing, and you got to know my name on it, and I had my hand in that. Like, ain't no need in that all the time, bro.
And I also feel like this too. Like as I know I'm young, but I was as a hip hop fan. I think both of the two top MCs with Biggie and Tupac never reaped what they sold, and because they was out, they didn't have there was the talent, there was the guy you see in the face, but Tupac never really got paid everything that he wanted. He was in movies, he was putting out these hit records, but his business was really bad. He did not do anything with his business side. Same thing with Biggie. Biggie was in these nice shows, he was rapping, he had nice albums, but he never had his business in order, and it's mainly because they both was on bad deals. But they was trying to get out of him, and before they did, they passed away. But that's what I'm saying. So it's like you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have that business lined up behind it, you're always gonna get screwed over, and then you're never gonna.
I'm gonna say one name, and we're gonna close out on that name, and we're gonna start with Elijah. T.O. Terrell Owens. Elijah, tell them about the Fitz Take.
With the Fitz Take, man, thank you, and I appreciate you guys for supporting us. Continue to like, share, subscribe. I've seen that we had a lot of views on that last episode that we did with Tyrese Skipper. We're looking to bring some more guys in. Shout out to Keon Martin, who just made the Baltimore Ravens team that played on UL as an undrafted free agent. So just want to say thank you for the comments, the likes, the shares. Continue to subscribe. Continue to do everything that you guys have been doing, because it's been helping us out. But also on this podcast, always thankful to be a part of this in the morning with Joe and the rest of the team. So I just want to say thank y'all. Thank y'all. I can't say thank y'all enough. I hope you guys have a great rest of y'all day.
That part, Sean P. with the Sean P. Experience. Hit him, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I want to bring y'all to the Griot Podcast. I am also a part of the Griot Podcast. This Sunday at 3:00 p.m., we are discussing the topic Waging War by Zip Code, which is a book by Dr. Wesley Muhammad, all about the government's plan they always have had when it comes to Black and brown people living in certain zip codes. So tune in 3:00 p.m. on the Griot Podcast on YouTube for Waging War by Zip Code.
That part. So, family, we're getting ready to get up out of here. On behalf of Sean P., Elijah Nixon with sports, Brother Bowtie, brother who is Broken Berlin, Brother Washington, the Sister Alethea, Sister Jax. We in the building, y'all. We in the building. To our esteemed alumnus that pops in from time to time. Listen to the hashtag Truth Be Told /JD Live. Remember, be better today than you were yesterday. Do something today to be a blessing to somebody somewhere, that no matter what you do, there's no earthly way they can pay you back. Always remember that there is no secret what God can do. What he has done for others, he willingly can do for you. For when God is with you, nothing or nobody can stand against you. I'm out of here, family. Y'all be blessed. Tomorrow is the celebration of the anniversary of Katrina. Y'all be good. Peace.